There's those people who I was just like, oh, they're gonna die. Yay. And they didn't die. And I was like, boo. Hi everyone, today I am going to be doing a book review on The Blackest Heart by Brian Lee Durfee. This is book number 2 in the series. No, you cannot just jump into book 2 and expect to know anything. Sorry, you have to read the first one to be able to understand and grasp what's going on in the second one. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't be well. Why would you do that? Don't do that. Just read the first book, which was great, and then read the second one, which was equally as good. Just like in the first book, you are following multiple different characters. Now, there are new characters added in this one that you weren't following last time. For example, Galt's daughter, or his stepdaughter, she's one of the perspectives you get to follow. You do get to follow Galt as well, Lindorf, Tala, Jondralyn, Nail. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 people or more that you follow. I'm just gonna touch real quick on what happened at the end of the first book, just in case you don't remember. Jondralyn got up. She thought it would be a good idea to go against Galt, and she got wrecked. Her face is messed up. She's missing an eyeball. When it's described, it is described so vividly well, it's disgusting, but disgusting in a good way, which I'm sure some people are like, oh no, Jondralyn, okay, she was a cocky little biatch at the end of the first one, even though she was pre-warned by Tala that their brother Jovan was planning on her dying or getting kidnapped or something bad happening. And she was just like, I'm a knight now, and I'm all powerful, and I'm a warrior angel. And then she got wrecked in the face. And I mean, I like Jondralyn, but she kind of had it coming, okay? I'm just saying. That happened to Jondralyn. Nail originally had the axe. He had the Heartstone or whatever the heck they're called, and he lost them. They're gone now. They're with the White Prince. So Nail and, the elf princess and a couple other people have their little merry band, and they're going on their epic adventure. And there's, Beer Mug, who's my personal favorite character. There's Liz Hen, who I freaking hate. I absolutely hate Liz Hen. I can't stand her. Even though she apologizes to Nail for being such a biatch, I can't stand her. This whole book, I was hoping she would die, and she didn't. So, anyway. So that's what's happening. Liz Hen, Nail, Beer Mug, some of their other friends, a dwarf, a knight, they're all going on this epic adventure, which it is rather epic, right? Their band of whatever goes up north, and they go to this giant glacial area where there used to be mining camps, and there's ogles or orc or whatever. It's kind of, I think they're orc, but they call them ogles. And there's a bunch of them there, and then they get separated, and a bunch of stuff happens. And I really like how the traps are set up in the cave where they are supposed to retrieve the the crossbow or the sword, whatever, and then the heartstones. I think that was really well done and really well thought out. Galt, Lindorf, and the one bar maiden that dropped into the royal dinner party, who supposedly tried to kill Jovan even though she didn't. They're all in a prison camp, but it's not a prison camp, it's more like a prison cave. So they go to this place, and then they're dropped I think they said 500 feet into the ground, and they're supposed to mine stone and help get that to the surface. And that's where they are and where they have to be. I really liked that idea, that concept of your prison is actually this giant hole or this cave in the ground, and there's really no way of escaping. Like, you would have to have a rope, like, thrown down from the top, or some sort of mechanism dropped from the top, and then you have to, like, climb out. There's no way you can, like, climb the walls because they're too steep to climb up. Now, Lindoff, if you actually read the first book, and if you haven't, I don't know why you're still watching my video. Please go read the first book. But in the first book, Lindoff has this wonderful addiction to, like, fairy dust is what I'm going to call it. So he's a drug addict now, and he actually likes the barmaid, but it seems like the barmaid doesn't really, like, she was having sex with him or about to have sex with him, but she likes Galt now because Galt can protect her better or some shenanigans like that. So Lindoff is just kind of like, he's not alone, but he's alone, and he feels just awful about the whole situation and everything that happened. His family, you know, disowned him. They don't believe him. Nobody's taking his side, and it's rather sad. So he's just having an awful time. The only reason that they're there in the mine camp, whatever, cave, is because they are waiting for Jovan to host, like, a gladiator type game where Galt is going to battle Sir Skyrick, oh my gosh, whatever his name is. So it's the dude, Skyrick, was engaged to Jondrelin. He was the gladiator in the first book that fought his way to freedom. So because Galt destroyed Jondrelin's face, Skyrick is like, I shall avenge your honor, and they're gonna go to the arena and fight. And if, you know, in theory, you're supposed to, if Galt wins, he's supposed to be let go and be free. Now, they want to hang Lindoff and the barmaid during that gladiator festivity. Now onto the princesses. Like I said, Jondrelin is just messed up, right? Now, she does do some, like, woe was me, but you gotta remember, she was, like, the most beautiful person in the entire land, and now her face is jacked, right? So she feels just really down and out, but at the same time, she does have, like, her own sense of pride, and she does still try to be like, I'm a knight, even though her brother's like, women shouldn't be knights, and she's like, no, we should be, it's fine. So there's that little thing going on, and she's dealing with Skyrick, and then that other guy, oh no, I can't remember his name, Hathwood? Oh man. Anyway, so she's dealing with Skyrick. She's also dealing with, like, the guy she likes. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but he is the one who helped teach her how to fight. He used to be a Bloodwood assassin, but he's no longer. So she's dealing with, like, both of them. They're trying to figure out, like, what happened to the weapon and the stone that was buried under the castle beneath the prison, because that's something that, like, happens too. So there's, you know, they're supposed to, Skyrick, Jondrelin, and Hawkwood, I think is what his name was. They're all supposed to be on the same team trying to reassemble the warrior angels for, you know, this epic battle or whatever that's coming up. But then there starts to be conflict and turmoil within their own group. As for Talia, I think I'm saying it right, she is, I really enjoyed her in the first book. Her character, I think, was a lot stronger. She was more determined. Yeah, she was definitely doing, like, a lot of running around for the Bloodwood to try and save her cousin, but in this book, it's like she just puts, like, a complete standstill to a lot of stuff. She's like, F that Bloodwood, I'm not doing anything for them. You know, I've made a huge mess out of everything, which she has. She really has. Not intentionally, obviously. She was trying to save her cousin, but, like, it's just all sorts of messed up. So she just kind of takes, like, a back burner. I'm hoping in the third book that maybe she catches her stride and she becomes more resilient like she was in the first book, or maybe like a little bit more clever or something, you know, interesting happens with her character. I would like to see that kind of growth for her personally. You still do not know who the warrior angels are by the end of this book, okay? Now there's like a theory, like one of the elves that escorted the princess had told Nail in the cave that there might not be any warrior angels, that maybe that's just like a legend or a farce, right? So that's like one theory. So who knows at this point? I mean, we'll see, okay? Now, the other thing in this one is that there are people that are dead that you didn't know were dead, and there's people alive that you thought were dead, and then there's people who you think you know who they are, but that's not who they are, right? And like I said in the beginning, like, I wish Liz Hen died, but she didn't, and that was something too, is that there's people who died that I didn't want to die. It's very sad. And then there's people who lived who I really didn't want to live. Just like, WTF. Are you kidding me? I was so excited when it finally got to like the big battle scene. By the way, it was a well-written, well-thought-out battle scene. I really enjoyed the big battle that always comes at the end. It never comes in the beginning. At the end, though. No, I guess there was a big battle kind of in the first book at the beginning. But this big battle happens at the end. And it was really well thought out, really well done, okay? But still, there's those people who I was just like, oh, they're gonna die. Yay. And they didn't die. And I was like, boo. Boo. But it's still such a great story. This is a really good fantasy adventure that kind of, it makes me feel fulfilled, because I have been reading other fantasy fictions or fantasy adventures, and you just kind of like, man, like that was an okay one, but this one is a great one. I cannot wait to get started on the third book, which will, I'm sure, happen here eventually. I'm getting surgery done. I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to be reading or doing much in that regard, but we'll see. So like I said, there's a lot of different people in the story that you follow, but each one of them is important because each one of them is like their own kind of individual puzzle piece that makes the entire puzzle. So, you know, to figure out what's going on at the castle, you have Jondralyn and Tala that you follow. You know, you have, you know, Nail and the elf princess like out in the world doing stuff. You also have Ava, who is still in captivity with the white prince. So you have all these people around this kingdom, and you're figuring out what's going on in different places, and you know eventually they're all going to be in the same city or the same location. And I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen with the rest of this story. I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.